Breaking news from the Pat McAfee Show 2.0. An item/experience has been added to the GROAT.
What?
Right now, if you go to patmcafeeshow.com and purchase Pat McAfee, professional baseball player, for $5, the critics are raving about it. What did Esquire say about it, Diggs?
Greatest comedic sports documentary of all time.
The critics are raving about Pat McAfee, professional baseball player. And for $5 right now at patmcafeeshow.com, not only can you get the sports documentary of the year, you also get entered into the GROAT, the greatest raffle of all time, which includes 2 Super Bowl tickets, 2 World Series tickets, 2 WrestleMania tickets, $1,000 free play at mybookie.ag, $500 Visa gift card, a Lisa king-size mattress, a Movement sunglass and watch, a job shadow of Nick Moraldo, an autographed Adam Vinatieri jersey, an autographed baseball bat from the game, and now officially being added to the GROAT, a bucket list item that will never be heard from anywhere else. Nope. You buy the Pat McAfee Show, Pat McAfee, professional baseball player documentary. You're entered into the GROAT, which now has a chance to golf with me and John Daly this upcoming spring at John Daly's home golf course, the Lion's Den. We will fly you there with a friend. We will put you up in a hotel there, and you will get to have a round of golf with me and John Daly.
But Pat, what if I already bought it? Am I still qualified for this round of golf with you and John Daly?
Yes, you are. This is just another item to be added to the GROAT. So whenever we pull the raffle winners on October 16th, the person will win. The first person wins. They get to choose of any of the incredible raffle items. Then we'll pull another name. They get to choose any of the raffle items. This ends October 14th. $5. $5. Even if you don't want to watch the documentary, which you should. Mm-hmm. People are enjoying it.
Very good.
36 minutes of happiness, basically an idiot being thrusted into a situation that I should have never been in. You will get a chance to win all these incredible prizes from the raffle items. Once again, a bucket list item has been added. A chance to golf with John Daly and myself in John Daly's home course at the Lion's Den. Flight included for you and a friend, and hotel, flight and boarding for a round of golf in Dardanelle, Arkansas.
What, for $5?
$5.
Sports Illustrated and Time Magazine both were on record last week as saying there's no way that this raffle could get any better, and they were fucking wrong.
There it is.
They're going to have to retract their story.
I'll tell you what, golfing with me and John Daly is a good time. You guys got to do it last year?
Can confirm.
It's a good time.
The trip's going to be booked for a certain amount of days. Add an extra day onto there.
Anyways, let's get to this. It is Thursday, October 11th already. October 11th. It's already halfway through the great month of October. Halloween and the creepy little kids knocking on your door is just right around the corner. With that being said, today's show is brought to you by mybookie.ag. Sure, watching football is fun, but it's more entertaining when you have some action on the games. Guys, you've heard me talking about this for weeks, if not months, and some of you are still on the sidelines. Don't be a punter. Get in the game. Whether you're an expert or rookie, you should be betting at MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy that likes to bet a little and win a lot, like playing the numbers on roulette, you can create a big parlay. Diggsy, you love those.
Big parlay guy.
You pick 3 teams to win at least, and if you hit all 3, you could turn 100 into 600.
It's not a bad day.
600% increase.
Good ROI there, Todd. There's so much to bet on. Playoff baseball, hockey, primetime fights, and more. But MyBookie is the one bet I know you'll be happy with all year. I recommend these guys because I really trust them. MyBookie has been in business for years and years. They've got a great online reviews, and their mobile site is easy to use. If you're on the sideline, now is the time to get in the game. MyBookie will still match your deposit. First deposit, dollar for dollar, but you got to join now because they'll be pulling that offer soon. Log on to MyBookie right now and double your money. Use promo code PAT, and you'll get your first deposit matched 100%. That's promo code PAT. You play, you win, you get paid. Very thankful for my bookie pay for this goddamn studio. Very, very, very thankful. We are also brought to you by ButcherBox. ButcherBox is the high-quality, healthy protein that you can trust. 100% grass-fed and finished beef, free-range organic chicken, heritage-bred pork. That's old-world pork before they bred out all the fat and flavor to make it the other white meat. AKA, this is the pig's way, the way they were meant to be.
Amen.
ButcherBox is incredibly convenient. It's delivered right to your door on dry ice.
Love that.
Free shipping anywhere in the 48 states. Sorry, Hawaii, Alaska. You're going to have to pay for the shipping, but right here in the continental U.S., free shipping. It has unbelievable taste. There's a huge difference in taste between animals raised on the pasture and those fed grain and concentrated animal feedlot operations. It's exclusive and hard to get. Outside of ButcherBox, this type of high-quality meat is hard to find.
You got to go to the American Plains to find that.
That's where I'm from. That's where we got this buffalo from. I'll tell you what, it's very difficult to find this meat. Very difficult. So where's Waldo times 4,000?
You don't just find good meat out there on the street.
No.
You got to dig.
You can find them feedlot operation meats anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Dime a dozen.
For those who live in food deserts, it's near impossible. For those who live in big cities with expensive supermarkets, Whole Foods, our prices and variety are hard to beat. Get $20 off plus free bacon in your first box by going to butcherbox.com and using code PAT at checkout. That's butcherbox.com, code PAT at checkout to get $20 off plus free bacon.
Also, you order this time of year, you can use that dry ice that they ship it with for Halloween.
Crates of
Oh.
Witch's Cauldron.
Yes.
Who?
Yeah.
Witch's Cauldron.
Yeah,
Put it
absolutely.
in a little pot.
all witches
Let it
brew.
steam up.
Yeah, if you got kids and need to participate in this, go ahead and use that. Do that. I do not.
First we were in the blender, and now we're helping people.
Look at us. So go to mybookie.ag, use promo code PAT, get 100% bonus on your first deposit. Let's get some money. Diggs will give you some quick picks
Sure.
at the end of this show. And then butcherbox.com, promo code PAT, get $20 off all this incredible meat plus free bacon delivered right to your doorstep. And I'll tell you what, ad reads used to be complicated and confusing, not anymore. Ty Schmidt prints them up on a piece of paper for me.
There we go.
That's very nice of Ty to do that. We got a printer here in the office. We're like a real thing.
Yeah, it's a good printer.
Pretty
too.
good printer now, too.
Solid printer. It's
Upgrade.
fast. It's on a Yep, it is. We had like a little home printer there for a while. It ran out of ink too quick.
It shook the whole
It was-
table,
it-
too.
It was tough.
Printed too slow. It was like a trip back to the dark,
It really was.
dark ages with that printer. Now we got a new one because we're a real high quality operation
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
With that being said, having a printer that is really good makes things not so complicated and confusing. And having an app like SeatGeek makes the ticket buying experience absolutely easy and fun.
Very
And
fun.
So
Very
fun.
Underrated amount of fun.
It is because you put in your amount of money you want to spend, your budget, and SeatGeek go ahead and scans every other ticket buying platform to make sure you get the best bang for your buck. The best ticket you could possibly get to go to a Broadway show,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
comedy show,
Like that.
That.
professional baseball game,
Ooh.
hockey game,
Yep.
If you want to.
NFL game,
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
fighting things.
Yep.
Basically, anything that there's a ticket to go to, SeatGeek will find the best ticket for you, for your best bang for your buck. That's because SeatGeek is your friend in the ticket buying business. And the SeatGeek app is simple. All you need to do is two taps. Two taps.
And you got tickets.
And you get tickets. And you use promo code PAT today, you get $10 off your first purchase. You use promo code McAfee, get $20 off your first purchase. We need the rich people to use PAT, get $10 off. We need the people with a little self-awareness here. If you need $20 off, use McAfee. Go to SeatGeek for all of your ticket buying needs. You're alive, but are you living? Go live and experience it live.
Good question.
It's October 11th. Let's have a goddamn day here. We got Rich Eisen calling in here at the end of the show. Can't wait to
right.
chat with the voice of the NFL. I was in his green room, okay, in his studio, and there's the actual letter. I think it was from Paul Tagliabue whenever he was hired to be the NFL Network's, I think he was the first hire by the NFL Network, and that letter is like framed in his green room, and I was just looking at it, reading it, and I was like, that's probably a little piece of history right there. He was the guy who started NFL Network. He was the guy who let me have an hour on his radio show, which nobody has ever offered up to do.
What a power move, though. Just put it in the green room and show it to everyone that comes in.
Yeah, Yeah, the green room is very nice, by the way.
Well, that's like when you become a doctor, you hang it in your office. You just hang it so everyone sees it.
Credentials.
We'll talk to him about that, obviously. We will chit-chat with him about all the things NFL, behind the scenes. The NFL Network went through a pretty big controversy there for a while in Rich Eisen's name. Very clean, very professional, voice of the NFL, and he's doing nothing but just carrying shows. His Sunday morning, he's up at 4 a.m., by the way.
I can imagine. Well, because he's in L.A., right?
He's
And the what's it start at 9?
Yeah,
9 Eastern?
I
So
think
it's
6
there?
a.m.
Yeah,
6 a.m. He's up and at 'em, having to hype everybody up about NFL Sunday. And then Super Bowl day, I think he's on air for 16 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Which is absurd. And he does his show every single day. That man is a machine, and he's very nice to me. I can't wait to chat with him. The NFL is a wild world right now.
It really is.
It's got people making extreme takes that I've never heard before. Philadelphia Eagles fans are going back to losing their mind because their team won the Super Bowl last year, and now they might not win it this year. So the Eagles are back. Philadelphia fans are back. And there was a local news guy, the local news Fox guy, said that the Philadelphia Eagles, the reason why they're losing is because they're still having sex, and they need to go on a fast, he said. A fast in the bedroom so that they perform better. Now, listen, this is something that old heads always think. They're like, this is, you can't have sex because you lose all your juice, basically. You lose all your...
Testosterone.
Yeah, and I think, what was that show, the two guys, they did science experiments, Mythbusters.
Yes.
They did it with a boxer, a professional boxer.
Oh, they busted this?
Yeah, and it turned out, whatever you nut, there's more testosterone in your body.
Really?
There's more everything like
Well,
that.
I know for about 10 seconds, it's the clearest thinking you'll ever have in your life.
Oh my God! Why did I shouldn't have.
Maybe run one out on 3rd and 10.
That's what that 10's for on the 10 on the side.
I've been saying it for weeks. I'm waiting for on Pornhub to pop up a porn parody of that fucking football sideline tent.
There has to be.
There has
at some
to be
point.
a football cheerleader sideline tent porn parody popping up soon. If it doesn't, I'm thinking about directing.
Why does sex get attacked so much, though? By the way,
I don't know. I thought it was the opposite. Like
Probably
you
the
said, like the
religion.
Mythbusters. I had a hockey coach when I was younger. When I was like 15, we were at a tournament. He was like, "If you're anxious, if you're nervous, just go jerk it." He said,
like,
"But don't." He said, "Do it like an hour before the game so your knees don't get
There's
weak."
something about Mary. We all learned that when we were young from something. There's something about Mary. Yeah, when Ben Stiller jerked off before the date.
That's a different reason, though.
No, but I mean, is it though?
The principle is the same.
I just don't understand it really. I don't get it. I think this is a guy that whenever he has sex, right, he is so confused when it happens. He said it fogs your mind. It doesn't. To who, Buck? I think it clears your mind more than anything in history. Just what Dick said.
Yeah. But I was thinking, like in his case, if you're not a man that has sex on the regular, and you do have sex, you are kind of in a fog for a few hours at least. Like,
Yeah, if
whoa,
you're-
man, what just happened to me? Like,
Let's
I was
assume
full.
that the Super Bowl champion Eagles aren't virgins.
No, I
none
know
of
that.
them.
I
Not
realize
a one of them. Let's assume that is the case. It's a
We need Foxy here
Wentz
for some
might
insight.
be.
for
Wentz might
virgin
be.
insight, little virgin sight.
I do
he's
believe
not
that
here to
all
defend
defensive
himself.
players should not have sex during the season because they would be so angry.
You say a little pent up.
Yeah, pent up, great. They'd be like the 85 Bears defense. It would be the greatest defense of all time.
You
Yeah,
think
but
the
then you run-
85 Bears defense was having no sex?
Yeah, that's how they got through the whole year.
Oh, they were doing the Super Bowl shuffle, not having sex right after that.
You think they were just shuffling around with loaded
And that's
They
how
got
they
a
rid of
music
testosterone.
video out in the 80s. They were banging everything.
everything?
That's
I
not
don't
even
believe it.
possible.
I don't believe it.
Because
I
if
love-
you go that long without having sex, you're running the risk of just popping up one of those random boners, and you can't have that on the field.
As an adult,
I don't know. I haven't happened since like 7th grade when I saw a whale tail, but like you never know.
absolute
grade?
dummy, bro. There was a time here in the Colts
Probably not as an adult,
history.
you're right.
Yeah, as an adult, you probably haven't had one. Let's assume that you and your dick are on the same page. But there was a time in history here with the Bob and Tom show where they said no trim until the Colts win.
Yeah, I
And
remember
the
that.
Colts didn't win for like 14 weeks. And the Bob and Tom folks, it was like it wasn't the players themselves. It was the fans who were saying no sex until the Colts win.
Oh, I thought
basically.
you were talking about like beard trim.
Well, I didn't know what trim meant either, but it was their
Get
big.
yourself a piece of trim.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know. No
It's an old
trim.
saying, for
No,
sure.
no trim till the Colts win, and the Colts punished the whole city for like 14 weeks. Nobody had sex, but
You guys met up. You're like, let's fuck these guys over so bad.
the thought of that's being the reason why somebody like this guy was dead serious when he was talking this, by the way. This local news guy, Fox in Philadelphia.
I thought it said he was an ex-player as well.
Yeah, he was. He thought he had it all figured out. He's like, "Oh, we're 2-3, back against the wall. Got to take drastic measures. No more pussy." I don't think that's the answer. But can you imagine though, like an NFL player, especially if you go that long without sex and how frustrated your brain gets, they would get in so much trouble on social media, hitting up. You know what I mean? Because that's where your brain goes when you're a young guy.
Then your head's not in the playbook. Your head's in DMs, and that's even worse.
Yes.
I would say that could be the reason why people are losing, by the way, is the access to relations everywhere. I think that would be a much bigger thing than actual sex. If we could talk about all the other stuff, I think there's a lot of distractions in the world these days. A lot of
I
distractions.
can't even imagine as a professional athlete the amount of distractions.
Watching that young generation come in the locker room, it was wild. This was when Tinder was just starting up and shit. Oh. It was wild watching these dudes just plow through their phones with right swipes. I ain't never seen anything like it. Guys are getting catfish left and right, by the way.
Yeah.
Guys were getting cat. Everybody made fun of Manti Te'o or whatever for getting catfish because he was
R.I.P. to her.
Tip of the iceberg there, I'm sure.
No, everybody was
everybody.
Because you come to a new city, and you know nobody. Absolutely nobody. You're trying to maybe hook up with somebody, and all you see is just this little picture of somebody on the internet. So you swipe right, you have a full conversation, you meet up, and then that person could have looked like that person in the photo at some point until they fell down the what the fuck happened to you tree and hit every branch down the end of it. And then at that point, the guy has to be like, well, am I a terrible person here? Do I continue to do this? Or do I tell them that they lied right to my face? And then you just have catfishing situations happening all over the place. This one guy came to our team. I won't say his name. He had a lot of money, though. And he came to our team, and he said, man, I'll tell you what, these Midwestern people are supposed to be nice. All these bitches lying, man. I was like, what do you mean? He said, man, all these girls giving me like their photo when they were like maybe 19 or 20. These 30-year-olds are showing up in my place, and man, they look terrible, Pat. He said, but who's the bad person? Me or them? Dude, who's the bad person here? They're lying to me. But then if I was to tell them when they got to my house, like, what the fuck is you? I'm the bad guy now. So I got to do it just so I'm a good guy. And then they leave. And now I got to deal with what I just did. I thought I was having sex with an 8 or a 9 until a 2 showed up. And then I wanted to be a 10 person. So I did it. And I had to get them out of here. But Pat, they all lying over here in the Midwest. I lost it. I started crying, laughing. It was in like the training room. And I've been wifed up basically my entire life. So it's one of those things where I never really got to see it all happen. But boy, I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it so much because it can happen. It really can happen. Everybody makes fun of Manti Te'o, and they're like, oh, these professional athletes, you can't just meet people out in public. It's like, to be honest, it's very difficult to do that whenever you have a lot of money because you have no clue what people's intentions are. You have no clue at all. You have it's not only just the opposite sex, by the way, or if you're a homosexual of the same sex, it's friends too. You have no idea what anybody wants in this world anymore. It's very difficult, I think, for guys to find actual love.
Yeah,
it's a real shame.
I agree. I'm 1,000% on the same page as you, except for Manti Te'o, I believe was like crying that she was dead and was going to go to her funeral when she wasn't real. Like, never met her.
He was in love, man.
Yeah, he did fall in love.
He was a hopeless romantic. What do you want from the guy? I think that whole thing got spun out of control because he wanted to make his family proud. He wanted to make his family proud because his family thought he fell in love. So then he had one lie, had to lead to another, which had to lead to another, which led to another, which led to him crying, which led to an ESPN special, which led to him just getting embarrassed in front of the whole world. And he's still in the NFL, by the way. Yeah. Still playing in the NFL.
I'll see him pop up on a Sunday here and there with a tackle.
I think he's on the Saints right now.
Yeah. He was last time I saw him,
I think he plays. Like, it was one first 3 downs he was on the field. It wasn't a special teamer. He's still in the league. Poor Manti Te'o.
I wonder if he's dating now or what his status is.
It's going to be tough.
I felt so bad for him, though.
Status, it's complicated.
Was that the same year that they also lost by like 45 national championship?
Oh, yeah. That was right after.
That was a tough time for Notre Dame.
The game was right after the ESPN special about his love with Leia
Kukui or something like that.
Bro. Did they ever find out who was fucking with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just some guy.
Yeah.
Rival
Some
school?
like guy in San Diego.
Oh, that
In
sucks.
San Diego, and then he gets drafted to the Chargers, right?
Well, it might have been California. I don't know if it was San Diego specifically, but yeah, he just some random guy.
That's wild, bro. You got to feel bad. I told the story a couple times where I caught a catfisher
Yeah, you did.
because I knew that there's no way that picture should have been that interested in me in the state of life that I was in. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. I called it out on it. After a dream I had. And then bang, couple years later, old Nev on the Catfish Show catches the bitch. Yep. And it was some lady in a trailer in Ohio when it was supposed to be a blonde lady in Houston. I was like, hey, next time you play the Texans, come by and see me. I'm like, okay, maybe. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. And then it just kept going. And I was like, God, this seems like somebody from Houston should not be. I am not good enough at playing. Nobody has a clue who I am. There's no reason this person should be this interested. And I honestly had a dream where I was walking through the airport and some old hairy man, I had to borrow his phone, and I grabbed his phone, and his phone was that lady's Twitter account, like on the phone. And I woke up, and I was really like, whoa. She is not a blonde from Houston. She is a fat, hairy man in the airport. And I sent her a message. I sent her a whole message that said, I know you're a catfish. So when you write your book about catfishing people, because there was other professional athletes that she was interacting with. I saw it on her thing. So when you write your book, I would like at least a chapter of how Pat McAfee caught your fucking catfishing ass. And then I blocked her. That was it. Last conference. And then a couple years later on Catfish, this same picture, same lady was caught. Wow. And it was a moment of, it was the most vindicated maybe ever in my life have I felt. Because there for a while, a couple of my friends, like on the team, they saw this lady. They're like, Pat, you gotta follow through here. And I'm like, this is why. There's no reason. She should be interested in you, not in me. And it was just it was a magical situation. It's out there. This world is a catfishing world. Right?
There was a period of time here where I thought we were just huge in Russia with Russian women who speak good and want to have the sex. And then I realized they were all Russian bots.
Yeah. Come on me. Yeah. Those tweets are the best.
Now, we know, okay, so athletes, because of their money and fame, are targeted a lot by catfishing. Mm-hmm. But how many personal experiences do you have with other players that were targeted by financial predators?
Everybody. Dwight Freeney lost like $30 million or something like that.
Holy shit!
I don't. Yeah, it was like $30 million. It was something.
They just get wrapped up in scams.
It's why I never have a financial. People always think I'm the most reckless with my money, but to be honest, with the stories that I've heard, I feel like I'm being the smartest without having a professional go ahead and use my money to do whatever the fuck they're doing. Yeah. Those Ponzi schemes are so easy for people to fall into. Ooh. And then the financial advisors, they're always talking so far over your head. Like, oh, we're going to invest in this. We're going to invest in this. Oh, what happened? Oh, you lost $2 million, but we'll get it back. It's like, well, you need to put more money in. It's always like on a loop because in the financial world, I'm somebody who went to college. I attended a college, but you're never taught about the financial world. You're never taught about the market. Professional athletes aren't you're not talked about anything like that. So when a financial advisor comes in, you're like, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get in a couple options. We're going to go into a couple funds. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And it's somebody in a suit that looks official. It's a catfish. It's a catfish situation where you're like, oh, this guy seems legit or a girl seems legit. Let's go ahead and let's let these people who have been trained with money handle my money. Right. And when you have millions and millions of dollars, you're like, yep, I want to be able to keep this forever. And you just hand it over. And then that money, it's like Dane Cook lost $7 million, I think, from his half brother or something like that. And there's just stories and stories and stories of rich people just losing their money. And Dwight Freeney was a guy, I think he lost $30 million because of a bad financial advisor. Shit. Yeah, it was something like that along those lines. In the year before I got into the NFL, the whole market crashed. Too, so everybody lost all their fucking money. So I very much was very scared to get in bed with any financial advisor because I've heard these horror stories of it all being bullshit. And then whenever they're like, yeah, invest in the stock market, now's the time, by the way, because it just crashed. And I'm like, yeah, but what if that happens again? Yeah. Like everybody lost every fucking dollar they had in there. And they're like, nah, get back in. Come on back in. And then you watch Wolf of Wall Street and you're like, oh, no way am I doing that. I'll just buy wrestling rings at 4 a.m. with with my money. And at least if I lose it all, I know where it's gone and I've enjoyed it, as opposed to just hearing about it in an email. Like, oh, we lost $2 million yesterday.
I know we talked about this before, though.
We
but
lost $2 million.
Like, if colleges offer that class for like athletes and stuff like that, is it manageable for players to manage their own money? Like, do they not need anybody?
Some.
Like,
Yeah, you would still need guys to do taxes, because when you're in the NFL, or girls, sorry, that I say guys as a
Gender neutral.
term. Yeah, there it is. Because taxes in the NFL, so like Phil, the guy that's here, Phil, literally one of my best friends since kindergarten. He was an accountant coming out of college. He was my accountant my rookie year. Okay, he's 22, 23 years old. And in the NFL, when you pay taxes, if it's an away game, you have to pay taxes in that state, that city, and that county, plus your city, your county, because you're getting paid by a team from that. So you have to pay like 5 taxes on those things. So there's no class that I could take overnight and learn how to figure out.
No, that's a full accounting degree.
And by the way, Phil, he didn't fucking know. He went to 4 years of accounting stuff, and he had to learn all this stuff as a full-time job. So taxes are something I don't think that players could figure out themselves, because it's a full-time, you got to look into everything, who's fucking you over, let alone when you play in Canada or England. Now you got to deal with a international tax plus their city and county taxes. I don't think that taxes would ever be something that somebody could figure out. Yeah. But when it comes to like smart financial decisions, I think that could help out a lot.
Like what a mortgage is and stuff like that. Like
30-year mortgage, how much you should be putting down, what's the percentage that you should be getting fucked on interest rate, that type of stuff.
Difference between leasing and buying, stuff like that.
Yes, I think those are the little things that guys could learn, but the taxes and stuff like that and how to invest in the stock market, maybe you can get some tips, but honestly, I've heard that's all just you get lucky, basically.
It's roulette.
So I've always been on the team that I am not going to rent. I am going to buy. Right. I've always been, I'm not just going to let this apartment company just suck money out of me, and then at the end of it, I get nothing out of it. Now, granted, I was in a position where I knew I probably wasn't going to get cut too, unless I completely fucked up. So there's always different methods. It's just, for me, the professional athlete course that is not offered to athletes in college, I think is complete bullshit. I think that is something that they should do. And it sounds so terrible to be like, oh, you want these kids to go to professional athlete class? It's better than an athletic coaching education degree where they're learning how to blow a whistle, or a motion picture degree where they're learning how to judge a movie that they'll never watch. It's at least giving them a little bit of, because you got a lot of people that don't even know how to fucking read getting into colleges, however they're doing it. Guys getting into college, and then they're getting pushed through college, whether you like it or not. They're getting pushed through college because they're incredible on the football field. And then boom, when it's done, if they don't make the NFL, they're fucked. Yeah. If they do make the NFL, they're fucked too, because they have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah, they have to manage millions of dollars now. That's like a hard thing to do.
What a first world problem that sounds like.
Yeah, but it's a real thing.
Well, even not even athletes. Like, I wish like the rest of us would have had just a life class, like with all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helpful to everyone.
Life should be a major.
It should be, actually.
Life should be a major, because you're not taught about all these dumb things. Like, man, you know, it'd be nice if I would have taken a handyman class. Yeah. You know? Like, as a kid, I should have.
I made a birdhouse. Hey, I made a fucking birdhouse.
I respect that.
Didn't.
I respect that a lot.
In shop class, and then in home ec, we made a tote bag.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Those things are so stupid. But I'm talking like I should know how much. Like, I want to get my dad was a handyman, but I had ADD, so I didn't stick around and do it. But in college, it would have been nice to get like a heads up on, okay, if you're going to get your floor done, how much should it cost? Yeah. Like, I should have a guesstimation of a price, because I'll have somebody come give me a quote for floors, and it's like 45 grand, and then another quote will come in, it's like 11 grand, and then another one will come in, and it's like 20. I'm like, what? Is this 11 grand that much shittier than the 4? Like, how is this? And it's all because people see the size of my house. They know who I am. They're trying to fuck me over, right? It's just, it's something I could have never thought was going to happen in my life growing up with Tim and Sally McAfee, that somebody was going to be attempting to fuck me over at every single corner of my life. I never really thought that was
Where
possible.
a college will require you to take some class like 13th century painting. Yes. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm never going to use that ever again.
Ever.
How about you?
We literally had a class where they would show paintings on the board, and you had to know what fucking painting it was.
I took Renaissance art.
Yep, me
See,
too. It was
everybody
terrible.
had to
Pretty
take
easy.
that.
Pretty easy.
Well, how about my lady though? Right, she has to go change the oil or something, and they see that it's my lady, so they try to take advantage of upcharge everything with the air filter, the oil, all that shit. That's just a class that could be very basic. Like, hey, whenever you go in there, this is what it should be. This is what you're looking for. Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
That is a class that would be very beneficial, I think, for humans, but. The way it'll be viewed is, oh, you're too stupid. You don't know what that is.
That's why I
it's
love
like, no, I'm not a fucking expert in what oil I should be getting in my
Yeah.
goddamn car.
That's why I love the Google machine. It saved a lot of people. If you just do a little Google before you go to know you're getting fucked.
Yeah, but if you have this person who's a professional
No, I
working,
know.
you know what I mean? It's very difficult to not be like, you know what? You're the professional. Just like what happens with guys with money, with their handing their money over to a guy wearing a suit. It's like, you know what? You're the professional. Let me go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But you got hustlers in every single profession these days. It's a wild fucking world. Wild world. I wish I would have been. I wish I would have paid attention more to my old man whenever he was doing handyman shit at the house.
Yeah, we're all in that position.
I wish I would have paid attention more, but also I wish I would have maybe, granted my life was all sports, but ventured out into these different things as a kid to like be like, okay, yeah, I'm getting fucked over there. Like windows. There's another thing. When you buy a house, you're gonna need windows. And when they come in to like give you a quote, I think it was a $8,000 difference between two quotes. And I'm like, how? One window right there and one window right there. How can you two be so far off? And it's strictly, and then you start thinking, right? You're like, okay, is this cheap one am I gonna have to redo it again? Is that why the price is this? Or is it because that expensive
Bulletproof?
one's trying to fuck me over? You know what I mean? There should be I think there should be a class for that because I could have never guessed that I'd be living this life that I'm in. I'm very, very fucking lucky. But boy, at any given term, I'm getting my fucking back just stabbed by people.
You should, from now on, you should catfish your house. So, like, show them a smaller house and be like, how much does it cost for, like, flooring and stuff?
See, here's why you need that class because they come.
Yeah, it's called an estimate.
They
Yeah.
measure.
yeah.
I just got nebbed.
Yeah.
I got neffed.
No, you're stupid. They come to, and they actually have to measure
Yeah.
it. So it's
Like
like
his kitchen would need way more tile than my kitchen. You know what I mean?
you can't
So
just take a
yeah.
picture. Yeah, they have to come and measure
Poor
it.
Zito.
I try out thinking them.
This is why we need the class.
This is why you need the class, the life
Not for
class.
that, I don't think.
I don't know if there's enough
That's
classes.
something you just need to know.
A lot of the NFL guys you talk to, it seems like the ones that are doing well and that seem to. Well, of course, your friends are kind of veterans, but so they're a little more savvy. But it seems like they're investing in real estate. Seems to be the thing now.
Or start their own business.
Well, real estate, there's never going to be any more of it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So real estate is always going to be good because there's never going to be any more of it.
Right.
The issue, I was in a real estate business there for like a year, flipping houses, and it ain't like HGTV. That shit ain't like HGTV. You're not just going to turn over 200 grand in a week because you flip a house. It was actually the complete opposite. I was making like $2,000 a house, but then with all the fees, bing, bing, boom, I'm like losing $400. I'm like, how did I do what just happened right there? But real estate is, the thought is, there's never going to be any more of it.
Right.
So you get real estate, you'll have that forever. You'll never miss out on everything. Right now, I own like 3-4 houses right now, right?
Right.
That'll never go away. So
Yeah.
if this all comes crashing down, I could sell my houses, I'm good to go. But real estate seems to be the safest bet.
Right.
But if the housing market goes down again, then you're fucked. Then you have to just sit on it and wait on it and wait on it. That's a long play, I think, more
Right.
than anything.
Yeah.
But I'm an instant gratification guy. I want to hit a scratch off right now. I want to hit that scratch off right, motherfucker.
That's what's so attractive. Some dude in a flashy suit comes in and he talks really well, and he tells
Yep.
some 23-year-old dude with
Who just got $5 million.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, you want to turn that into 10? It's happened to these 3 people." And they're like, "Yeah, it really did." But that's the thing about a Ponzi scheme. The first 10 people to invest pay off big.
They always
and the
make
last
money.
100 get
But
fucked.
also, even if they're a legit financial advisor, you're still rolling the dice because if they're putting it in the market, it could, like you said, it could crash at any time.
It's just keep it going around. It's carnival.
Fugazi.
Just keep it going. Keep them on the ride.
Because all they lose when that happens to them is a client. Like
That's it.
It's
That's
like Mike
it.
Tyson's nut was like 14 to 20 million a year or something. That was how much it cost to be Mike Tyson because of his house and everything.
Tigers.
Yeah. So as soon as Don King stepped in and took some of that, yeah.
Well, and also the big thing in taxes, right? You never learn about taxes until you have to pay taxes. And I don't want to sound like a woe is me because the amount of money I made is absurd. But coming from where I come from, there was never a thought that this was going to happen. So I never paid attention to it. Ever. Never, ever paid attention to it. And then when it hits you in the face, you're like, wait, I'm only making what? I thought we were making, hey, I thought we were in agreement. I was making this. Hey, well, the government is also. The government is also making that.
I never really thought about it much until getting to know you, really. But like, let's take Conor McGregor, for instance. $1 million payday for that boxing match with Mayweather.
100 million.
So, or 100 million. So immediately, boom, he's down to
52
50,
million.
right? From
52
taxes.
to 53 million.
Because of taxes. And then he's got overhead with paying his camp and all that stuff. So say he walks out of there with
That's why he signed a
30,
5-fight contract.
35 million.
Yeah, it's like 40, probably
Yeah.
40 million, 35, 40 million.
Which
yeah.
is an incredible amount of
absurd.
money.
Yeah.
Absurd amount of money. But in your head, you hear 100 million.
Yeah.
So then whenever you really start doing the math, it's like, actually probably 35, 40 million is what he's actually making, which is, by the way, that's enough money to retire
Incredible.
forever.
Yeah.
35, 40 million. It's just like that goddamn Carl Nassib guy. He's like, well, if you $1 million and you invest it at a 10% interest rate.
He's putting his money in CDs.
Yeah, ain't nobody making that money anymore, you fucking idiot. I almost lost I almost threw something at the TV listening to this guy talk. I'm like, if it was only that easy, Carl, if that was what everybody would do. Right. But yeah, that's why, and in my head, I have a number that I think I could get to, and I'll be able to retire forever without having to invest with anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Just being able to put myself on a yearly salary, buy a house, have a yearly salary, keep it moving, live forever. That one fight he did with Floyd Mayweather would definitely get me to that. So I started boxing, for like a week. I'm joking. But it is a wild world. It is a very, very wild world. And you walk into the blender almost, and it's like, okay, here we are. And you also have to focus on being the best in the world at your job. So now you have to worry about your family, right? Because you got a family you have to take care of that never could have guessed you were going to be here.
Right.
Then you also have to worry about your job, because if you don't worry about your job, you're going to get cut. None of this money is going to be there. And then in the off season, you got to deal with the family. It's just there needs to be a professional athlete course. There really needs to be a professional athlete course. I don't know why there isn't. You got all these colleges that are getting caught up in all these fraudulent corruption cases where they're giving people degrees. They're giving. You could actually do some good if we're going to give them fake degrees anyways. Why don't we at least give them a little bit of knowledge that they'll be interested in too? By the way, I think if you would have told me when I'm 18 years old, and I never went to any fucking classes in college, I just didn't, because it was communication shit. I have a very good memory, so I would just cram shit in, take the test, pass. I was on the all Big East academic team like 4 or 5 years straight, almost 4 years straight. Never attended a class, so it was a challenge to myself. I really challenged myself. But if you were to give me a course where somebody was going to come in and be like, okay, this is what's going to happen if you make it to the league. You're going to get this, you're going to get this, you could do this, you could do that. That'd be something I'd be very fucking interested in, I think.
I would think so. All right, so in my head, because I'm going to ask you this, I don't know what really exists in the NFL for this, but in my head, I would think that when the NFL kick him out of college and he's drafted by a team, that the NFL would take all the rookies and say, hey, there's a 2-month thing you need to come to, and it's basically schooling on how to be rich
Yeah,
and
does
handle.
Symposium cover any of this?
Symposium's a 3-day thing.
But it's 3 days. Yeah, what are you going to learn in 3 days?
Well, and you're forced to be there. It's an obligation. I don't think this is the NFL. I don't think this is an NFL thing.
And Chris Carter's just yelling about
Chris
you to get
Carter's
you a
yelling
fall,
at
man.
us. Well, Chris Carter yelled at my group because we didn't have enough respect for the older guys. And we're like, bro, we've been here for 3 days. You just shut the fuck up. I got a chance to talk to Chris later in my career, and I like Chris personally after talking to him. But boy, I hated him from that symposium on, because somebody asked a question, was like, Mr. Carter, how do we get respect in the locker room, or how do people appreciate us? He was like, you know what's wrong with you? And he just starts like looking at the whole room, and we just got drafted like a week ago. And we're looking around, and this is our last speech after 72 hours of being yelled at by all these people. And he tells us, we don't respect anybody. I'm like, who the fuck? I know I don't respect you. Get the fuck out of here. The symposium, though, is supposed to be that, but you take like a 6-hour class on, it's supposed to be a financial breakdown. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think the NFL at fault here. I do believe it should just be a replacement for your fucking college. If somebody wants to go and be a chemist in college and they're a football player, I think they should be able to do that. If somebody wants to be whatever, physiology, whatever they want to get into, you can do that. But if you're just going to give a kid a basic ass major, which I think every school has. If you look at all the football majors, you look at the one that's the majority of it, that's the football major basically, or the athlete major. They just substitute that one out with professional athlete. And even if they don't become a professional athlete, at least they have a little bit of a life lesson there.
Yeah,
So
it
they're
should at
learn-
least be an elective that's an option for you that you get college credit for, so you don't have to take fucking medieval fucking
Like how-
woodcraft.
How many people in the NFL know, like how many of the players in the NFL know when they're like their 401k or pension vest? Like,
So we have that every year. We have that meeting every single year. It's a 401k where a suit comes in and tells us basically like, hey, 2-to-1 match on your 401k. Does everyone everyone a max effort? Everybody want to max that? And the answer is always like, yup. And they're like, okay, here you go. When you're 49 here, 59 a year, you can get taxed, the whole thing. That happens every single year. The 401k conversation happens every single year. But it's always, all these meetings happen at the end of a 10-hour day. So everybody's just trying to get out of it. Just like the NFLPA, the way they sleight of hand you through a whole conversation. It's just like, back in the 30s, guys were having to work with rats. And then we saved the day. The NFLPA came in and saved the day. It's just, I do believe wholeheartedly in that professional athlete class, mostly because I think I would have benefited greatly from it. And I think there's a lot of people that would have.
Well, the reason the military, I'm convinced, gives you free food and free lodging is because 70% of the people that they enlist spend their entire paycheck the first weekend after they get paid.
It's very hard not to.
and you can also die.
Yeah.
And there's a chance to die. Very big chance to die in your line of work there whenever you came out. It's very hard not to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You hear a lot of like hoity-toity people that are like, these athletes shouldn't be spending their money then. They should know that it doesn't last forever. It's like, it must have been very nice to be born with a shit ton of money in your bank account and to know how to handle that. Because, boy, whenever you see a quick 21 grand in your bank account after just like spending 600 at a bar one night and be like, that was a lot of fun. It's hard not to be like, man, I want to go to fucking, this is exactly what I did. I want to go to fucking Africa. I want to go to Europe. I would like to go to California. I'd like to go to New York. I'd like to go to Miami. I don't know if I'm going to have this money forever, but I know I have it right fucking now. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's very hard not to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to have discipline and this and that. It's like, yeah, but bro, have you ever seen a bank account go from 0.00 to, oh, the whole world is literally at my fingertips?
That's not even just professional athletes. Nick's known me for a long time. Even if you get a nice commission check, like there's like 7-8 boxes at your door the next week.
It's difficult not to.
Unless you're one of the, I don't know how people, I worked with people who they would like, half of my commission goes into my savings. I was like, half of my commission goes to Amazon. I don't know.
Like a stock option?
No.
The issue is, though, this falls into that because growing up, you never think you're going to have this problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like growing up, I never was like, you know what? Now, granted, I've done very good with my money. Very excited about where my money is. But if I didn't play until my third contract, I don't think I would have. I think I would have been completely fucked. I had to continue. If my career would have stopped after year 4.
Which typically a guy's career does.
Yes, year 3, year 4, I would have been completely fucked. But I get franchise tagged and then I get another contract. So I'm in a very good spot. But it is something you never think of. And there was moments there where I was coming back to training camp in my first couple of years and I had like $10,000 left basically out of everything from the year before. Like just waiting for the fucking game checks to come back. There was times where I would like sit in my bed at night and be like, you got to stop spending money, man. You have to stop doing what you're doing. You have to. And then I wake up the next morning and be like, fuck it. Who can? And it would be very difficult. It's very, very difficult to be like, because money there,
It's funny to hear that.
money's there to spend. That's in my head. I'm like,
We do the same thing, just on a smaller scale.
yeah, it's
But it's all relative.
Everything's
It's all
relative.
Your lifestyle. I mean, all of us sit there and think about things we want. If I had another $2,000, I would want this.
I have a list.
And as soon as you get it, you spend it.
I bought a black Escalade the day after I was drafted because my entire life I said, if I ever get rich, I'm buying a black Escalade. And then literally the day after I was drafted, I bought a black Escalade, had no money in my bank account. Zero money in my bank account. I thought the signing bonus was going to come immediately. It did not. It didn't come for 3 months. So I had to literally walk into the bank numerous times with a news article telling them, I just signed for this. I promise if you could just delay this. My dad's like, Pat, you're going to get me fucking credit ruined because he had to co-sign with me. I'm like, I'm sorry, Dad. I thought we were rich. I thought we did this and we were not. It was just, you don't expect that type of shit.
You walked with a news article?
Yeah, to the bank.
I literally have a list in my notes. Wish list, when have money again.
What's the number one thing on there?
New car.
What car?
I don't know.
Just a car.
Depends on how much money I have when I have money again.
And here's the thing: you
There's
have a very
levels.
nice car,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you always want a different. Yeah, that's it.
Well, you brought up a good point too. Like I always forget that NFL players are paid game checks. Like
Yeah.
you're not getting money in the offseason.
No.
Which is-
So
yeah.
like your last game check, whatever you got there, you got to hold on to that till the next
So
fall.
the next game in training camp, preseason, you're getting like $150 a week, basically. All players are getting like $300, I think, is the vet, and then the rookies are getting like $150. So you're
Really?
playing.
You're like a
Yeah.
teacher. Go do landscape in the summer.
Yes. So you're playing in these preseason games. These preseason games, guys are getting like a few $100. Everybody.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Can
And-
you opt out of your pay? Like do like a year round pay
No.
or not, like that?
No,
You have to do game
No,
check.
it's game check. And some guys go. I mean, some teams I think they do. I think there's a couple teams that go year round. I believe there's a couple teams that go year round. I'm not certain, but it's all about how the team wants to pay you.
Yeah.
It's not like your decision. It's how the team wants to
It's
pay.
probably better for the team for you to get game checks too. in
I'll
case
tell
they
you
wanna-
what. After that Super Bowl, my rookie year, we get out of the Super Bowl, we lose, and then I look at my bank statement, and I'm like, man, I got what 4 months off right now, and I'm just staring at my bank statement. I'm like, oh, time to go fucking spend this.
This might be a dumb question too. So like if you make it to the playoffs, that's a game check as well, but someone that's not in the playoffs doesn't get a game check?
Playoff checks are all the same, so it's
Okay.
agreed upon. If you make it to the Super Bowl, it's like everybody earns an extra 150 grand.
Gotcha.
So it's the first check. I think I don't remember the numbers, but if you make it to the Super Bowl, everybody gets the same check. So playoff checks are all the same for the entire team. Your salary is all finished by 17th week. So then playoff checks are all the exact
So
same for
teams
everybody.
really gain ground by making the playoffs, going far into the playoffs because their expenses are down.
Home
each
field.
game, but they're making probably
home
more.
field.
Home field
Yeah.
is huge. So because then you get all the stadium sales.
Wow.
Yeah, all the merch, all that shit. Yeah, it's huge.
Or you might be saving $1 million a check on certain players.
So my rookie year, when we made the Super Bowl, me and Dwight Freeney were being paid the exact same amount of money for the playoffs there.
Wow.
The exact same amount of money, which is wild to think about because the first 17 weeks, I think he made 45 times what I made. 45, I think it was. So it's one of those, and I think baseball does the same thing. Playoffs, everybody makes the same
Yeah,
exact
I think
thing.
all sports. do.
Everything's slotted. So if you have home field in the playoffs as a business, huge. Absolutely huge to have home
Because yeah,
field.
if you're going on the road, you're not getting stadium revenue or anything like that. And if it's $100,000 a player times 53 players,
Well, that's if you make the Super Bowl. That's
No,
4
yeah.
or 5
Yeah.
games.
But you're still getting TV checks, I assume.
Bye week, if you get the first week bye week, you don't get paid, I don't think. So if you have if you are the number 1 seed, I don't think you get paid. I would
Really?
I would have to. I don't.
yeah,
think
man, we don't want that buy. We don't want that buy.
everybody wants
gotta
that
get
buy. Everybody wants that buy. Yeah, I don't think you do. I'm trying to figure out in my head if we did or not. I don't think we did.
Do you get paid in the bye in the regular season?
Yes, get paid because that's your salary. But the bonus, the playoff bonuses, I don't think you get paid for the buy. Only if you play, you get paid. Which I guess they can justify. That. Not really.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
I
guess
mean, you're still practicing and
it's
shit.
kind of like a Zito thing. Like, yeah, we get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, we get it. But it's, the money thing is very, this is probably the least relatable conversation we've ever had on this show. But I think it should be because, honestly, when you just get dropped into, like that fucking duck on that GIF, like, what's that? Who's that?
Oh, or not. When it jumps into the goal.
No, yeah, I think it is Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you that's literally what it feels like. It's like, well, what the fuck am I going to do now? And it's like, well, I'd like those shoes for sure. I like that car. I want to go see that for sure.
It's funny too because like if you're not in that situation, you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, save your money," but then you put yourself in that situation.
It's
You're
impossible.
buying everything you can.
It's I got so sick of people telling me to like, you need to save your money. I'm like, I hear you. I absolutely
Yeah.
hear what you're saying. But I would like you to wake up one morning look in your bank account and then get a text message from somebody that's like, yo, it's going down in Miami tonight. You in? And I'm like, I can definitely make it. I can definitely go. I'll see you there. Or getting a text, hey, somebody's birthday this weekend in Pittsburgh. You want to come back for it? Yep. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And it's hard not to just be like, you know what? I'll buy everything for everybody because I am grossly overpaid right now. I know I'm looking at a bunch of people that still have college student loan debts. It's hard not to just be like, you know what? I'll buy everything for everybody because that's what you're supposed to do. In those first couple of years of my life, that's where the money was going. It was like, we had a great time that I will never forget ever, or remember some of them, never remember some of them, but it was like, it's like, this is what you're supposed to do. And it's very difficult to be like, yeah, okay, I'll just save my money. Oh, you know what? I'll go out. You guys, we're splitting the bill though. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who's the douchebag that goes like, yeah, I'll pay for my drinks, but not yours? Like, nobody. Nobody's going to, because you Google, you know exactly how much money I have in my bank account. It's like, why would you not do it?
That was like the time we went to the mall. You wanted to buy everyone a pair of $500 red shoes. I was like, we can get like Nikes for like $50 a pop. They don't have to be $500 a
Nick,
pop.
you were a voice of reason in a lot of situations, but for me, it was always like, why not though? Why not? This is what we're supposed to do. Why
do you
not?
get the mentality as well? So like Wiz Khalifa says, like you live, like life's too short.
So there's so many quotes, and I have I think I've said this before. It's like all these life mottos are all hypocritical of each other. It's like patience is a virtue, right? Be patient, be patient, be patient. And then there's the live as if you're going to die tomorrow. It's like, well, that fucks over patience. That just is a complete see you later to patience. So it's for me, I honestly just try to make what's the right decision in the moment. What is the thing that everybody's going to have the best time with? And then just keep it moving. We'll deal with everything tomorrow. But I got very lucky that I played 8 years. Let's make sure that is known.
There is a definite thing that makes athletes different when you're an athlete and that's your job, because you think, all right, take the playoff pay schedule that you just explained, for instance. Let's say guy makes $35 an hour. He's been at Ford for a long time. And that Ford plant, his boss is like, hey, we're having a really good year this year, so we're going to work 3 to 4 more weeks than usual, and you're going to make like a tenth of what you're used to making an hour to do that. It's like the opposite, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to make less for working overtime now.
Yeah, but the thought is the difference than the Ford plan is there's a Super Bowl ring potential at the end. So they cut.
So the athlete is into the prestige and fucking he wants to be a winner.
Yeah, like Dwight Freeney though, and I always think about Dwight Freeney because at one point he was making $1 million a week, right? So for 17 weeks, he made $1 million a week, and we were only playing him on third downs. Sometimes not even. He even knew that it was bullshit. He was not happy with how much he was playing. He wanted to be on the field more. The new regime didn't want. It was a very interesting situation. Like Dwight Freeney, one of the best teammates I've ever had in my entire life. I've told the story numerous times of him sending a limo to come pick me up. I don't know where he was the night I got arrested. There was no limo, but he is a very good teammate. Took me in under his very good guy. Played cards with him. Very, very good guy. And he was making $1 million a week. His game check was $1 million a week, and we weren't even playing him. And then we get to the playoffs, and he's like, this is what it's all about, though. Like, you watch these guys be like, this is what it's all about. I'm like, bro, I know you're taking like a $900,000 hit a week here. You're taking a $950,000 a week hit. And it's just like, at that point, A, he probably already has enough money. They don't have to worry about it. This is before knowing that somebody's stealing all his money. And B, it's like a real thing, though, for athletes. They're like, this is playoffs. This matters.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference. Because I mean, it could be argued that you played for the Colts, but that was your Ford. I mean, they were your employer.
Yes, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's interesting that since it's athletics.
In the situation you laid out, like that's why they had the unions to establish overtime pay and all that. But then like when Pat says you get the prestige, but like getting a Super Bowl ring isn't even just prestige. He always says it's like a key. Like that gets you into a lot of situations that you would never be in.
If we would have won that, Drew. Congratulations to Drew Brees.
NFL's rigged for him.
Very proud of you, Drew. Way to go. Piece of paper in the middle of the game. The whole thing. Drew Brees, incredible human, incredible athlete. Blah, 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 blah. If I have a Super Bowl ring, though, you can get into any business meeting you want. You can walk into Goldman Sachs if you want and get into a meeting.
Sure.
It's just that access with the Super Bowl ring. And you're a Super Bowl champion, which is top of the world, which everybody feels that way, you know? So that is what the Super Bowl ring gets you. And that's what everybody's playing for, is for that. And the money, of course. And the money. A vet was asked by one of our new coaches. He played in the league a long time. And the new coach was giving a speech in training camp. And there's always these rah-rah things, And it's all... He calls out the vet. We'll call the vet Zach. We'll call it Zach. It wasn't his name. We'll make up the name. Name was Zach. And this vet coach, he came straight out of college, so he's giving this college hoorah bullshit. And I'm in year 6 or 7 at this point, and we're about past all the college bullshit. But for the younger guys, it works. So we just have to sit there and take this bullshit and just be like, bro, shut the fuck up, is what everybody's thinking. But for the younger kids, it's getting them riled up, like, hey, you're living a dream, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, we are. And I would also like to go to sleep or just work. Like, this is all talk. Let's not do it. So he goes through his whole thing about how you got to love the game, which you do, by the way. If you want to be great, you have to love what you're doing, the passion. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to be willing to do the extra stuff. It was all good, Go over every inch matters, just like any given Sunday. This guy thought he was giving an any given Sunday speech. It was his first time really speaking in front of the team. It was a big moment. Chuck let him talk, So he towards the end of it, he goes to the vet. He goes, "Hey, Zach." And Zach was not prepped for this, right? And Zach was in probably the same mental state that me and all the other vets were in. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. And he goes, "Hey, Zach." And Zach's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Why do you still play the game?" He was like, "The checks don't bounce, cuz." It completely fucked up the entire speech the guy had going, that it ain't about the money, it ain't about this, it ain't about that. Why do you still play after all these years? Checks don't bounce, cuz. And then I started dying laughing. All the vets started laughing. Chuck Pagano basically kicked the coach off and was like, "I should have gave Zach a heads up." It was awesome. I loved it so much. It's probably my favorite training camp moment. Probably my favorite. "Hey, why do you still play?" "Checks don't bounce, cuz." Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and walk it the fuck off. It was awesome. It's a wild conversation we had today.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed that this is where it
You
would
never know where it's going to go in here.
A lot of prep. A lot of prep. That's what I learned about going in and watching Jim Rome and Rich Eisen and these folks. The amount of prep they put into shows, I understand why they're professionals.
Well, they also have to coordinate graphics and things like that. I mean, if we were also on TV, maybe a little bit more.
I'm sure we would, yeah. Certainly would.
Put the graphic up already.
Come in half
Hey,
hour
did we
early.
make a graphic for this? No?
I enjoy just letting her fly, though.
Yeah.
Because who knows where it's going?
Yeah, I like not knowing where it's going.
Who knows where it's going? To be honest, I think that's the purpose of it. Now, granted, we ran our serious show exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Here you
I
go.
think people like that. They like the spontaneity of it.
Somebody tweeted about yesterday, because yesterday we went from we were talking about the colorblind issue or whatever, straight into cauliflower mashed potatoes, part of the keto thing. There was no transition.
I'm back on keto.
I'll tie it all together for you. This article just popped up on Pro Football Talk. Shad Khan's exploring the tax implications of playing in London because he's purchasing Wembley Stadium, but basing the team in Jacksonville.
Florida, no state income tax.
So he wants to keep the team headquartered in Jacksonville, but play the home games in London.
Why the fuck my company in Delaware? Little Dicky. Little Dicky says that. You start to learn about these states, Texas, Florida, Nevada. You start learning about these states that are just perfect places if you ever want to move and place your company there. Now, granted, there's no football team in Delaware, but same type of thing. Taxes are a bitch. That's why whenever I hear people get in trouble for tax evasion or whatever, it's I understand everybody wants to hate them because it's oh, you rich fucks, just pay your taxes. But boy, there was a lot of times I was trying to figure out how to evade mine. And Phil was like, "You can't fucking write off your 70-inch TV, Pat. You can't."
For film.
Actually, you can, though.
Yeah, but you're just asking to get audited. You're asking. Phil was one of the most stickler accountants, I think, probably in the NFL.
Mine is not.
He yelled at me for writing off my sword.
That's because you know what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to just a fucking miserable situation where, I had guys on our that I played with that were writing off their Jordans because they said they were training in them, and their computers and their TV because they're watching film. All these things.
That's legal.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're basically just throwing flags, like a challenge flag, at the IRS. Whoa, go ahead. I dare you. I dare you. And then when that audit comes, you better have your fucking shit tight. And it's just like, are we willing to go through that? And Phil was like, no, we are not. You're just going to fucking pay them, and then we'll get a big return, and then we just keep it moving.
That's just him. He doesn't want to do the work on an audit.
That could be it as well. That could be it as well.
I think I'm in IRS hell for the next 4 years, probably. Because last year they hit me with I owed a bunch of money. Well, for me, it was a bunch of money. And then, so I'm with my accountant, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to set up a payment plan or whatever. And she's like, yeah, just come in, and we'll fill out the extension. We'll go over it. And then I was like, hey,
Probably
I didn't, because I had to file early because of my son's scholarship, I didn't do my K-1s, which show your profit or loss from a business from the comedy clubs. I lost my ass in the comedy clubs. So I was like, hey, let's add the K1, and it canceled out what I was supposed to pay them because of my losses. But now you know what's the IRS is going to be like,
They're looking to get
oh
that
yeah,
back.
he thinks he's fucking slick. All right, let's dissect this shit.
That's all they're paid to do, by the way,
know.
is to take money away from you. Mm-hmm. That's their entire gig. And the tax law is like, it's the Bible. It's thick as the Bible. There's just things on top of things on top of things. And as a child, you never think about it. You never think about taxes. And you think about how the lights stay on the streets. You don't think about
Unless
that.
they're using IBM Watson to catch me. I'm not worried.
IBM Watson.
All right, let's hit some things real quick. The first poster of Disney's live-action Aladdin movie came out yesterday, scheduled to come out on October 24th. Who's excited?
I am, because isn't Will Smith playing the genie?
He is.
I'm all in. Can't
Not
wait for
my
that.
genie.
Oh,
Vern Troyer's death ruled suicide by alcohol intoxication.
This
So-
one hurts.
That's a thing?
Well, if you're a little person and you probably chug a fifth,
Yeah, it said that he overdosed on alcohol pretty much.
Yeah, but is that suicide?
I
knows
think
he
it
was
was pretty
getting
well
himself into.
known, that he was masking some other stuff with his alcohol abuse.
No, I get that, but like, if,
oh, bull,
if
bull.
I went out this weekend,
I'm sorry.
no, that's fine.
God.
Did you
I
watch
keep
Bull?
forgetting to record it.
This Bull was good. This one was good. Tuesday's Bull episode, maybe the best one yet.
good. Have it recorded.
It was it's a spin. Bull's so smart, man.
He is.
He's so smart. It's hard to remember that he writes the show, right? That the show is written. Because mid-show, I actually said, oh, he's so fucking smart. I said it out loud. It is the greatest show. It is so good. Wait until you see it. It has all the hot topics too, all the trigger button topics.
Really?
Oh yeah, race is involved. Police officer is involved.
Nice.
White police officer is
Yeah, yeah,
involved.
yeah.
A gun is involved. Shooting of an unarmed black man is involved.
Wow, they hit everything.
Oh, it hit everything. It hit everything. The city trying to have a settlement and then it was good. I was like, Bull, coming through. So I met with CAA, right?
Yeah.
And they gave me a motion picture agent as well, like an acting agent.
Sure, yeah.
His name's Avi. This guy's a go-getter, I think. Avi.
Oh, from
His name's
Ray
Avi.
Donovan.
Is that I didn't know.
Character in Ray
Yeah,
Donovan.
He's a
that's
fixer.
right.
Yeah, he's a fixer.
Well, let's hope this guy's
Strong man.
Ex-Israeli Special Forces.
Yes.
Let's hope the guy's something. Avi was awesome though. He used a lot of energy because he's the one who heard about the Captain America Captain America thing. He was like, there's actually a process here. Like, granted, you could just blow it up with a mob on the internet, basically, if you'd like. But if we really want to do this, I was like, I know I'm not going to be Captain America. He was like, why? Why do you know you're not going to be Captain America?
I like that.
He's like, there's a process here, though, we got to get through. Now, granted, if you suck, it's not going to happen. But if you have any chops at all, there's a chance, because this building we have here is a pretty powerful one. We could potentially get you in there. And I'm like, he's like, sounds good. Fuck, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh, he said, what? Yeah, he said, what are some shows that you like that we can get you some guest roles in? Because this is a way to do it. We get you some guest roles and stuff, and then they kind of get you on tape, and then they see you, then they keep moving. What are some shows you like? I was like, Bull. And he was like, Bull, the Dr. Phil show? I was like, also Dr. Phil, love that show. If you can get me
Chris Lee's know best.
Chris Lee knows best.
Guest appearance on that show.
He was like, so Bull is the #1 show. I was like, have you ever watched Bull? He was like, no. I'm like, You need to watch Bull. It's the greatest show of all time. He was like, so you want to be like a drama actor? I was like, no. But there has to be a way that I could get in there and be an action comedic guy. Isn't there? He's like, in Bull? I was like, there has to be a way. Those writers are good enough, aren't they? He was like, okay, so Bull, give me a list of shows that you think your brand would be good
Did you
in.
give it to him yet?
No. I'm still trying to figure it out.
You should definitely tell him something like Danny McBride-ish, like as far as
Well, I kind of want to be. I think I could be an action comedy guy, right? I think I could be the Caucasian Rock. I honestly think I could do that. Chris Pratt, Mark Wahlberg kind of have it on lock.
Yeah.
I think I could kind of chime in and be the third. I think I could get in there. I think I would have something
Those movies pay very well.
very well. Especially, I told Avi too that I know the game. We got to get in with China. We got to get in with the Chinese mob because that's where The Rock is making hundreds of millions of dollars every single movie.
the Yokosu.
I think that's Japan.
Yakuza.
Yakuza, there it is.
Is that China or
Yakuza
Japan?
is Japanese.
That's Japan, yeah.
Don't say the same thing.
The
Don't say
Triads?
Triads.
We're trying to get
Triads.
in with the Chinese.
Triads.
Don't say
Triads.
the same thing,
I
please.
tried
I didn't say
Triads.
that.
Yeah, you did. I heard you say it.
Well, I was watching Rush Hour last night, so I was a little off.
So good.
If you could bring Juntao back to life and fucking get
Jackie
him,
Chan knew how to work the Chinese network.
Yes.
Like nobody.
You know who didn't? Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
That's why his ass is dead.
And
And
Brandon.
his kid dead from the Chinese mafia, which I would like to let them know. Bruce Lee and his kid deserved it, Chinese mafia, if you're listening.
Yep.
I very much, I'm on your side here.
Will Smith knows how to work the Chinese mafia. Got Jane Smith into the new Karate Kid.
Yep.
That's what we got to, because your movie can be terrible, but the Chinese mafia will literally force people to go buy and watch it. So it's like, cool. The Rock is going to make hundreds of millions.
It was terrible.
It
was. It's documented. Check it out.
It did well in China.
Dead.
That's all that
crushed.
matters.
The Karate Kid.
Yep.
Nick was just buying a
You
hit
backing
list.
that up? You got numbers?
No.
I'm on.
If it's in the Chinese,
And fuck you, Diggs. Whose side are you on, you flip-flopping bastard?
Like, you don't deserve what Nick just did right there, do you?
Decide that I get paid for
Not
it.
at all.
I
Coward.
no,
Well, tomorrow I'll be on the other side.
Flip flop.
but that is really happening right now. I got a list of acting coaches in Hollywood that I'm going to Skype act class with.
No way.
Yeah, there's a list of them. Bro, he sent me a fucking list of them and was like, go ahead and read through these. We'll set you up on a couple Skype dates with them, see who you vibe
Can
with.
we record these?
I've heard it's like a very,
It's a private thing.
I heard it's like he told me it's going to be like a meeting with a psychologist, basically, because that's the big thing. Is like it's like a very deep thing. They have you do weird shit, he said, but you got to get through it.
You're about to get this Hollywood juice.
Who?
The secret juice.
Hold on, let me. Oh, the Hollywood juice.
You're about to get this.
You said halibut, like the fish.
That's what I heard.
That's
You
what I
said
thought. Was there
halibut.
something
No,
I
he
don't
did.
know about? You
He
just suck
said
on a halibut for a half
The
hour? and you're
halibut
5
juice
years younger?
is what you said.
Can we play that back?
Yeah,
Don't do it.
we can.
I'm trying to think of shows because I don't watch network TV very much anymore. But I used to enjoy like
There's a show-
anything with Kevin James in it. I think you and
Todd.
Kevin James play off each other. Billy Gardell.
I love Kevin.
I love Kevin
I do
James.
love
I
Kevin
love
James.
him. I
Well,
love
that
him
show-
Hitch. I love him in everything.
Our buddy
See-
Frat does an incredible Kevin James impersonation.
You should be on that new Lethal Weapon series. I've thought that since it came out. They haven't found a guy to play Mel Gibson's character, and I think you'd be pretty good in that.
I think you in Game of Thrones would be good too.
I'm out.
That's already
about
done filming.
Hawaii
too.
5-0.
So there's a one though where it's a African American neighborhood and a white family moves in. It's coming out. It's and the black guy. It's an old black comedian. His family. He hates the white guy.
Oh,
Hates the white guy. That's the trailers are all like this guy basically dealing with this super peppy white guy.
it's Cedric the Entertainer, right?
I don't know.
Or David Allen Greer. It's one of those.
I don't know, but they're gonna attack race relations in a very hilarious. I would like to be a part of that show.
David Allen Greer does have a show coming out. So
That's
it's probably-
his
that might
is
be
like
good.
a retirement home show.
Oh, okay.
So it's not that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the Cedric the Entertainer one.
Okay.
That's a show though that I think I would enjoy a lot is the race relations. Just strictly because I've been in a locker room where race relations are at an all-time high. I will say that. And I feel like I was a pretty avid character in the locker room.
How about the Connors? Would you go on the Connors now if they're bringing that out without Roseanne? They're looking for new people,
I don't know.
trying to get a good
I don't
ensemble
know
going.
what to call
Okay,
it.
So Roseanne got
yeah.
screwed. She screwed herself, right?
Yep,
So
Ambien.
So they canceled Roseanne, and now they're bringing it back as the Connors
Correct.
with the rest of the cast, and they've added a couple new people.
I've taken a lot of Ambien, by the way. Not a one time have I ever told any of my black friends anything racist. What a stupid fucking move by her. She was on top of the world, literally.
On top of the world. She was
18
coming
million
back.
viewers.
Yeah, the show was killing it.
Maybe the Ambien was like spoiled.
Like milk.
I think maybe she was spoiled.
So there's these acting coaches I got sent, okay? And it goes acting coach's name, location, and then clients they have worked with. Next to it, Will Smith's acting coach is on here. I'm like, give me that one. Zac Efron's acting coach is on here. Jared Leto's acting coach is
There's a
on
good
here.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, right?
Because Will Smith's acting coach has got to suck, right? See what I did there, Nick? Back on your side.
He's on the flop now.
Unbelievable. Ashton Kutcher's coach.
Terrible.
Gerard Butler's coach.
Great.
Nice.
Oh, that's Will Smith's coach. I just see what I just did right there to you? Yeah, you see what I knew what you were going to say.
That's not how it works, though.
Gerard Butler has two coaches.
See?
Wow.
Yeah,
If you have two, you don't have one.
For an English accent and one for his British accent.
You have two, you don't have one.
That's like the running back thing.
Yeah,
If you have two running backs, you don't have one. If you have two
Exactly right.
quarterbacks, you don't have one. But all these different acting coaches, I'm supposed to set up a Kelsey Grammer's coaches on here.
Pretty good.
Oh, he's good.
All these, I'm supposed to set up like a Skype date, and I think I'm going to become an actor.
I have a list of the highest.
I'm going to hate it, aren't I?
No, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, you're
gonna
going to
love
hate it.
There's a lot of work.
I don't like kissing the ring.
Yeah, there it is.
That's what I've realized I don't enjoy doing. I think that's what I learned most in the Hollywood world that I went out there, is I don't enjoy kissing the ring. Like, I get it, you're a person of power, but I just sell merch on my website. I don't give a fuck about you. Go on.
I have a list of the highest grossing U.S. films in China to
Okay.
get the genre right. So you know what you got to do.
Yep.
right.
Because I would like to be huge in China, just for future reference.
2017, 2.6 billion, The Fate of the Furious. 2015, 2.4 billion, Furious 7.
Yep.
Avengers Infinity War, Transformers, and Jurassic World. Those are the five
those make
highest
sense.
US.
Franchises, baby.
Yep.
Paul Walker, you got to take over his spot.
Popcorn movies.
I want to be Captain America pretty bad, though.
Transformers is huge over there. You combine robots and cars.
Yeah.
That's a key.
Wahlberg's about due to step out. From,
No way. Have you seen him?
Transformers.
He looks ripped still to this day because you've seen his schedule. He wakes up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but I think for the Transformers series, I could see him like he has so much other shit going on.
Oh yeah, I don't think
he
he's
might
been
give
in
up that
Transformers
role.
in a while.
What is
No, he was in the last one,
Oh, he
but
was?
he's also making like $30 million a movie for those, so it's kind of hard to step away from that.
also
Didn't the
plays
director
18.
say that they're going to make Transformers every year? Like,
Yeah,
kinda like
that's
that?
the plan.
Yeah. That's
I've
crazy.
seen Shia LaBeouf's Transformers.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I
he was
like
in the
that one.
first two, and
the
then
OGs.
they got rid of him, and Wahlberg's been in like the last three.
So Marky Wahlberg is Shia LaBeouf.
Yep.
Yeah, a different character. Yeah,
Josh Duhamel's still in it as well, I believe.
And Tyrese.
When Megan Fox left, I was done.
Tyrese is in Fast and Furious, right?
And
Also Transformers.
right?
Yeah.
He was crying on the internet, right, Tyrese?
When Paul Walker passed away.
No. It's because him and The Rock.
because he didn't have any money too.
Yeah, him-
Tough to be in two of the biggest movie franchises in the world and be broke.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Listen,
to
let's
pull
not
off.
judge him. We just had a full conversation. We just had a full
Money
conversation.
managers.
We don't know what. Listen.
Yeah, but you had one job.
Yeah.
He had two.
Yeah, and my job wasn't being a quarterback either. It was bottom of the pay scale on that thing. Let's assume that if I get into a movie, that we're all going to have a really good time with it.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh my
assume that's the
God.
case.
I would love it.
Eagles at Giants tonight. Diggs, couple quick picks here before we talk to Rich Eisen.
Yeah, I got the Jets -2.5 at home against the Colts.
Okay.
Cleveland +2 at home. against the
Jets
Chargers.
-2.5 at home versus the Colts.
Yeah.
I think that's a tough one there.
Okay.
Offensive lineman for the Colts, by the way, playing with a broken spine. That's a
Yeah.
wild move. I don't know how that happens. He had to be. This goes back to people judging NFL doctors, by the way, because whenever you go to your doctor, you're literally telling them what is hurting, what is happening. The reason why I'm here is, oh, my pinky hurts. So they look at your pinky, they're like, yeah, it does. You're right. In the NFL, everybody's lying to the doctors at all times. I would assume that's what happened in this particular case. My back hurts. I think it just needs cracked. Well, it already is. Turns out you can't really. Jets -2.5 versus Colts is a wild move.
Is it?
I think the Colts. Honestly think the Colts potentially. This is against a rookie quarterback. I think the defense will be able to keep up with the rookie quarterback, and I think this is a situation where Luck could possibly get hot.
Is Doyle still out?
There's a lot of injuries on that Colts.
And
team.
Mack and Wilkins, are they still out?
I don't know who those people are.
All right, who else?
So Cleveland +2 at home against the Chargers. LA -7 against the Broncos. Tennessee +3 at home. Home dogs against the Ravens. And New England -3 against the Chiefs.
Beautiful. Great bets. Go to mybookie.ag. Go ahead and take all of their fucking money.
That's if you're going the other
No
way. on the
Doyle, no
Chiefs.
Hilton on Sunday.
Okay. Well, there you go. Good bet.
Everything I just said.
Yeah.
Take it back. Take it back. Everything I just said. We have a brand new sponsor, and I'm a big fan of what they got going on. Omigo.
Oh, yeah.
You ever heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
Omigo, a revolutionary toilet seat replacement. Are you anal about cleanliness in the bathroom? What if I told you I could change the way you poop? Have you ever really thought about wiping without toilet paper? Like, really thought about it?
Every single day.
Really?
Yeah, I hate wiping with toilet paper.
Okay, so I was never a big bidet guy. I used to say, hey, keep that stream away from the booty hole, cuz.
Yeah.
Then you go to Vegas one time, you have a suite, and you find yourself not wanting to leave the toilet for about 25, 30 minutes. And then you get up and you got no monkey butt.
That's awesome.
It's clean. It's like you just took a shower. I used to have to take a shower after every single time I grumpied. And then the bidet situation was like, no, you don't, cuz. Let's just shower the butthole. And Omigo has made it very, very simple for you, me, not just Vegas suites, to have a bidet situation. It washes you in all the right places. You can adjust the water temperature, the position, the pressure, the width, and the movement. Like you just took a shower, but only down under.
More like a good day situation.
It has a heated seat, a night light, soft closing, air dry, remote control, deodorizer, carbon filter, eliminates all odor. So now you're pooping and it's smelling like roses.
Nightlight, you said?
Nightlight.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you've never had a nightlight in the toilet bowl, it's
Dude,
a game
it's
changer.
awesome.
Say goodbye to TP. You know the toilet paper? Oh, is it 1-ply? Is it 2-ply? Is it 3-ply? Who gives a fuck? Are you getting it all? Don't worry about it because now Omigo is there to take care of you. Save trees, water, and electricity. U.S. alone uses 36 million rolls of toilet paper in one day.
Too many.
Wow.
You're worried about plastic straws.
Yeah.
Let's think about these trees. 36 million rolls of toilet paper in one day. Quick math, 36 million times 365 digs.
It's like 300 billion something.
Nailed it. It's clean and safe. It's
900
quick
billion.
and easy. That's why I always do my business on my Omigo. Get $100 off your order when you go to myomigo.com/McAfee. That's MYOMIGO.com/MCAFEE. That's Omigo, OMIGO, Omigo.com/McAfee to get $100 off. The future seems weird at first. Let it be weird. And fall in love with it.
Completely agree.
I love my Omigo.
So I have questions here.
Yeah, buddy.
So you flush, the water goes up. What happens after?
It dries. There's an air. It dries it.
What?
Yeah.
If this was not
Yeah,
on
it's like a
Shark
car
Tank,
wash.
Yeah. That's what a bidet is. Have you ever used a bidet?
No.
It's beautiful.
No, he's poor.
No, we got these guys.
I would like to tell you that you don't have to be wealthy to get a bidet.
Not anymore.
Not with Omigo. Get $100 off. Omigo.com.
That's what we're doing here, Zeke. For
Matt-
everybody.
It's called Zito a poor.
It's wild.
I didn't say a poor. I said he's poor.
Here's Rich Eisen.
I enjoy when people call in during the show and they could hear the phone ring.
Rich,
What's up, brother?
hi. Thank you so much for joining us. You ready to do this thing?
I am. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man joining us now is the voice of the NFL. He's the face of the NFL Network. I think he was the first employee of the NFL Network, and he let me be on his show for 1 hour on Monday, which nobody ever does. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the host of the Rich Eisen Show. He's the host of NFL Game Day on NFL Network. He's a man from Michigan. He has a great personality, a great voice, and right now he's rocking an incredible beard. Rich Eisen.
Thank you. Hey, Pat. I'm sorry to say, I lost you after he was the first voice of the NFL Network. Could you start from the beginning?
I'll tell you what, Rich. I don't do a lot of prep. I have no clue what I just said. It kind of once the words come out, they're never remembered.
Well, I'll just check the transcript later.
I mentioned this earlier. In your green room, you have the letter. I think it was from Paul Tagliabue
Yes.
asking for you to. Were you the first on-air hire of the NFL Network?
I was.
What
I was the first on-air hire, in 2003.
Okay, you're still there 15 years later, still doing your thing on an everyday basis. Is the NFL Network the premier league network across all professional leagues?
You know what? I'd leave that up to others to decide. You know, MLB Network, to get truly inside in the industry, they win all the Emmy Awards. It's something that they get every year. You know, the NFL Network, it took a long time for us to get fully distributed. There were all sorts of arguments back and forth between cable stations. All I know is that, you know, when it comes down to,
easy,
you know, what I'm doing, the draft and the combine and the Sunday morning show and that sort of stuff, I'll put that up against anybody with whatever anybody does in the business. We're really proud of it. And, you know, like this is year 16. It's kind of crazy. Season 16 for the network.
I absolutely love the NFL Network. I love the traffic you're in the middle of. Don't get hit over there.
I just thought to give someone a honk. You know what I mean? I got to be honest with you. You know, I don't mean to car shame anybody, but is it me or do, on average, a Prius driver goes 10 miles an hour too slow anywhere on the road?
Well, that's the type.
Am I wrong?
Type of people
Hold on. When I was on my Bird scooter, I was passing Priuses and in California, and I had this rhyme. I was like, a lot of Priuses in California, bitch, driving around looking like a bunch of beta shit. I had like I made an entire rap song about Priuses because there's a lot of those.
And you were going faster than them.
Yes.
Going faster
I was,
than your Bird.
because there's a lot of Priuses in California, not that much here. You live in California full time. You're based out of right by the LAX airport. You have an incredible studio. That DirecTV deal you have is incredible. Your show every single day, 3 hours, you crush. Then you have the weekends where you're up at 4 a.m. for the 6 a.m. call time.
Yeah.
The Rich Eisen, are you ever gonna slow down, Rich? I don't want to say you're getting old, but your schedule's insane.
There's a non-playing season that comes up in February, and when that happens, I don't work on the weekends and get to be a dad all the time and as much as I can. But I love doing it. I mean, you were here. I mean, there's not many shows that afford what we did. You know, it's kind of like what we did was like a podcast, but with cameras on us and commercials and live reads and so. You know, you were there for an hour. We talked anything about anything that, you know, was safe for work to talk about on a broadcast show, and it was great. It was a total blast. I'm pleased to let you know that the walls are still standing after your my security entry card still works. So you know, so I'm things are looking up. Things are looking up.
Well, I thank you for having me on. Your walls are littered with photos of in-studio guests that you've had. Everybody from Adam Sandler to NFL Hall of Famers. What has been a conversation that you got to have that in the middle of it you might have been like, yeah, wow, it's insane that I get to have this conversation right now?
Oh, man. Let me think. Right off the top of my head, we had Matthew McConaughey came on once and told the story of how he came up with the phrase "all right."
What was it?
Dazed and Confused. He said that, you know, it was his character Wooderson, and it was the scene, you know, where he's in the car and he's like putting himself in the shoes of what Wooderson would have thought back in the day, and he had his car and he had his chicks and he had his music, and those are the three things. All right. And I'm listening to this and I'm thinking to myself, this is the coolest thing ever. And that's the thing I also love too, is, you know, I mean, it's not straight sports. You know, I may not last the longest or get the most clicks, although having you on certainly helped on that front. You're a very popular man, Patrick. I'll tell you that.
Only on the internet, not in real life.
No. But that's the future. but don't kid yourself.
I appreciate
But
that.
I mean, I'm able to talk pop culture, and that's the thing I really like doing too. Somebody might drive around on a sports talk radio station and wants to be informed in the latest of a certain team, or wants to get inflamed and get angry over an opinion. That's not what I do. So I just love having those conversations. And to me, I like, I think that does work in the sports world too. I mean, we stopped the America's largest sporting event for a rock concert in the middle, and nobody bats an eyelash. So
That's a good way to
that's
look at
the
that.
idea that's behind the show, and we're 4 years old now.
Well, I think you have a lot. You have a good crew over there, by the way. A lot of fun. It's a cool,
Thanks, pal.
it's a cool set. Everything like that. Let's talk about NFL now. Let's talk about a little bit of sports here. Drama is at an all-time high in the NFL world. All-time high. Every little thing is blown out of proportion. Whether it's Odell Beckham, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Dak Prescott, everything is just drama, drama, drama. Is this something you think that the NFL loves or hates? Because it's always the topic of conversation. There's always incredible athletes doing incredible things, but off the field, it's like a reality TV show on a regular basis. Is that good or bad for the NFL?
I think it depends. To be honest with you, the spell my name right PR strategy is not really what the NFL is looking for. But having drama like holdouts and drama like calling out your coaches and whatnot, I don't think the NFL was too thrilled about Odell going off on his own with Lil Wayne sitting next to him having a conversation on ESPN. I don't think they were too thrilled about that. But I might be wrong. I don't know. Jimmy Butler's certainly doing a good job of blowing the NFL off of sports pages over the last 24, 36 hours. The NBA is really becoming that much more popular. But when it all comes down to it, when you put a sporting event on television for everyone to sit down and watch, the NFL is still the gold standard. And as long as that's the case, I think the NFL just wants to keep making sure that the viewing product is as watchable as ever, and get as much of the attention as they possibly can get without drama. If I could guess,
You have a position at the NFL Network where you've got a chance to work with so many Hall of Famers. The NFL Network's lineup of gold jackets is next level. I mean, Hall of Fame night, you were sitting on a dais, I think, with 8 Hall of Famers, all with their jackets on, surrounding you. It is
and that's Pat. That's a day where you make a very specific decision. There's no way I should go with a light colored suit. In past years, I decided to go with a light color suit, and it's not the same color as their jackets, and I think I stuck out a little bit more, trying to blend in, and but these are just, again, as you're now getting more and more part of the paparazzi, these are decisions that sometimes you don't expect to make, and you got to make the right one.
Do you have a favorite suit?
You know what? There's a couple of go-tos that I've got. I've got a blue one I like a lot. Sometimes I go a little pinstripe. Other times I just go to work and I just grab whatever's the first thing that's clean.
Attaboy.
Just like back in college.
Attaboy.
Rich, speaking of that, yesterday you had a glorious sweater on. Was that cashmere?
Oh, look at that.
Was it cashmere? Yes, it was.
Oh yeah, it was nice looking. I was like, Rich, showing out.
Yeah, it was. It was cashmere, man. So I've got that going for me. I take requests. If you want. But Pat, was your For the Brand shirt cashmere? Because that looked pretty damn good too.
It's definitely a tri-blend. Definitely a tri-blend. It feels good on the nipples. Yours should be arriving within the next 2 weeks. Those get shipped from Latvia.
The rare polyester cashmere combo.
Tonight, Eagles, Giants. Who do you got?
I was thinking about that today because I got to pick this game in the next 12 hours, and I'm like, I have no idea. I could totally see the end of this week where there are 3 2-4 teams, and the Redskins are in front at 2-3 in this division. That is a total possibility. I just think the Eagles are the better team. They're the better team. They're better equipped. They have the pass rush that could create the problems for the Giants that have been the Achilles heel for this team the first 5 weeks of the season. That said, it's a short week, and Lane Johnson might not be ready to go tonight, which is a huge loss for them. This is a total coin flip, man, and I do not have that answer for you right now. If I had to guess, I would just say it's the Giants at home, and they'll get it done on a short week.
I don't know. There's a lot of drama coming off of that Sunday with Odell. A lot of drama, Rich.
Did you hear, though, that they played Uproar by Lil Wayne during their
first 4 songs yesterday at practice
on Tuesday? So they're like already having fun with it and moving on and turning the page. At least that's what they're showing when the press is showing up. They're blasting Lil Wayne. I don't know what the hell to make of this stuff anymore. Kanye's showing up to the White House today. I mean, what the hell? I honestly don't know what's happening in this world anymore.
Do they ever ask you for opinions, the NFL, the league, like on whether or not how the refs act, the challenge stuff from an entertainment standpoint, being the first?
I will get on occasion when I do see the commissioner. He will ask, what are people talking about? What's going on? He will say that, and I'll give him exactly what people are lighting up the phone lines about. I will always give my 2 cents on officiating. I thought the tuck rule was garbage. I thought the catch rule was worse. And, I'm glad that whatever they did, midweek, a couple weeks ago to talk about this roughing the passer penalty stuff, they've clearly fixed. Obviously, the occasional, WTF call will get through, like the Michael Bennett hitting Kirk Cousins and sliding down his legs call. That type of stuff will still get through. But the football, like J.J. Watt, flat out decleated Dak Prescott and landed on top. Like, the power of every Watt who plays in the NFL landed on top of Dak Prescott. And there was no flag. So I think that they have they've fixed that. And those are the things that, to me, really inflame a fan base and make them think that that it's not the NFL that they're used to anymore. The helmet rule, I think, has been absolutely properly applied. There's been some crazy-ass hits that have led to ejections that I think every last one of them was warranted. So those are the things that I'm always going to give my opinion on. And I think I told you this story, but if I did, I'll repeat it anyway. But before I started, I guess to come full circle here, when I started with the NFL Network, I left ESPN, and there was like a 2-3 month period in between leaving ESPN and moving out to LA. So right in the middle of it, I got a call from Steve Bornstein, who's the executive from ESPN who'd launched the NFL Network. Guy's so smart, he hired me twice. He calls me up. I got a call from the NFL from an executive whose name I'd never heard of before. And I call Steve up, and I'm like, hey, I got a call from somebody. He wants to meet with me. He goes, who is it? I said, it's Roger Goodell. And he goes, hang up and call him back right now. And he was the COO of the NFL. He was the right-hand man at Tagliabue at the time, who really never got any headlines. I'd not have really have known about him. And he took me golfing. He's like, let's go. You play golf? Yeah. He goes, let's go. So it was just me and him for 18 holes. And right around the 11th, 12th hole, I remember I was in a sand trap, and he says to me, look, you've been hired to do a job. You did a job at ESPN well enough, really, really well, and you were hired to do a job with the NFL. And if anybody ever tells you anything that you should or should not say and you're uncomfortable about it, you call me and I'll fix it.
Oh.
And that's fact. And he's even at times said to me, hey, how come you didn't ask this question, first instead of third? Because, if my reaction gave you any pause, that shouldn't be the case. You can ask me anything. And he did that during the lockout, which, as you know, there's billions of dollars on the line. So I've been free to say, what I'm going to say. And, that's part of the reason why I'm thrilled to be around for season 16.
Roger Goodell, not a terrible human, you're saying.
That's fact. That's fact. That's what he said to me, and he's backed it up for 16 years.
How's his golf game?
Pretty good. Pretty good, man.
Are you forced to say
Not
that?
bad.
Are you forced to say that?
Oh, when I say good, I mean he cheats his head off.
Hey, Rich, I appreciate you so
good.
much.
He's good.
Hey, thank you so much, man, for A, what you did for me on Monday, B, coming on this show.
Doing anything you did for me, man. You gave me an hour of fantastic content that I'm telling you, our numbers of our videos, when we tweet them out, whatever, they're off the charts. You're a very popular man, and that's the future of this business. And, you keep doing you.
That means a lot. Everybody's telling me that, but I'm not sure everybody gets it. You do, though, and you let me have an hour, which nobody on earth would do. So I'm so thankful for that.
Say hi to Tim McAfee for me, all right?
Block Dad says hello. Ladies and gentlemen, the face of NFL Network, the voice of the NFL, Rich Eisen. Thank you so much, Rich.
Thank you. All right, brother.
See you, man. What a guy, dude.
Great guy.
He is. He really is. He let me, I'm telling you, in him saying that I'm popular, I'm very thankful for him, all his compliments, but nobody lets me on for an hour. Nobody. It's always, like Dan Patrick, I think we're interviewing him today, they wanted me to fly to Connecticut for 10 minutes possibly on their show. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not flying to Connecticut for 10 minutes. I'm a big fan of the show. And everybody's just like, well, we don't know if you can be blah, blah, blah. And Rich was like, come on, we'll have you for the full hour. And I'm like, nice. Thank you, Rich. Like, that is so nice of you, because an hour is much different than 10 minutes. Yeah. 10 minutes, you're going to be let me hit everything I could possibly hit and then keep it moving. I'm very thankful for Rich.
The reason why I love Rich is the way he described his show, and he knows he's not a hot take machine, and in that society today,
hot
is
takes
great to listen to.
Well, it's refreshing, right?
He's very relaxed. Even when he's hosting, he's very smooth and just kind of lets everyone do their thing. He doesn't step on anybody. He's a cool cat.
I'm a big fan of Rich Eisen. First hire of the NFL Network. That's
incredible.
That's wild.
Him and DP were great together though in SportsCenter when they back in the
day.
Oh,
and then DP has his thing,
Yep.
Rich does his thing. They're both. That's reason why they're probably both where they're at. By the way, so DP and Rich were together. Rich says he can give me an hour. Come do that. DP says you can get 10 minutes if you need it. Well, I'm gonna go to California where the weather's nice. I appreciate you so much. Big thanks to Rich Eisen. Big thanks to all of you for listening. We got Diggs picks in there. Shout out to Amigo, by the way. Go ahead and get one of them. #Endgang, #Endgame. Send us a photo of you watching Pat McAfee, professional baseball player. We appreciate you so much. Entering the Groat. It's beautiful. Numbers are doing well, by the way. We appreciate you all being active. It's only $5. Remember that. You guys have an incredible day. We will chit-chat with you on Tuesday on this show. Tomorrow, Heartland Radio 2.0 with bangers, the whole thing. Have an incredible weekend. So thankful for you. Ty Schmidt, hit the music.